So I'm sure Olivia Newton-John needs no introduction, but she was a British and Australian singer and actress. She won 4 Grammys. She had 15 top singles, 5 of which were on the Billboard Hot 100. In 1978, she starred as Sandy in the hit musical Grease, which the soundtrack is still one of the biggest selling soundtracks to this very day. And as you know, Olivia Newton-John had a 30-year battle with cancer. She was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 1992, and after going procedures and chemotherapy, she had resurgences in both 2013 and unfortunately in 2017 had a resurgence with cancer, which was deemed stage 4, and sadly passed away 1 year ago on August 8th, 2022. So rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. So there are no better guests better suited to help me celebrate and explain the life of Olivia Newton-John than my next guest. So Adrian Christian is an actor, singer, producer, and filmmaker. First-time guest on my show. Adrian, nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you, Brandon?
I'm good. Nice to meet you, and thank you for being here to celebrate Olivia Newton-John. Appreciate it. Rick Sudi Karatas, of course, is the author of Rainbow Relatives and How Catering Sucked the Life Out of Me. Although, Rick, you look pretty lifelike. He is also the writer and producer of the film Walk a Mile in My Products, which is available on Amazon Prime. Welcome
Thank you.
to you both. So let's talk about this. So you are here today to talk about a tribute song that you've done for Olivia Newton-John. But first, I just want to get the process between how you two collaborate. Sudi, I want to start with you. Is this kind of like a Bernie Taupin, Elton John? Like, how do the two of you work and write songs
Well,
together?
I write a lot of songs that I write, and Adrian actually recorded one of my Christmas songs a few years ago called "Midnight Will Be Clear." He did a really nice job on that, and we always like to work together. I was in his film short for a song for you that he had recorded, that and we had fun shooting that. So we've worked together on those, and then when I told him about this Olivia Newton-John tribute song, he says I have to record that, and he and actually ended up writing 3 tribute songs, and he's going to do a whole. He'll tell you more about that. A whole EP that's dedicated in a tribute to Olivia, where we'll have the 3 originals, and he's going to do a few covers of Olivia's songs, and so. But yeah, his voice fits a lot of the songs that I write, which is good, and so yeah, it's what is I think I don't want to give away his. What did he say? He calls me his Burt Bacharach, I think, or something.
Right. You asked if it was Bernie Taupin and Elton John, and I think of us more like Burt Bacharach and Dionne Warwick. You know, because I'm a singer. I am a songwriter as well, and I know we plan to, write some things together. Although he'll bring me a song and I'll suggest a couple of things, or we'll just maybe arrange a word here or there. But he pretty much has the song, and the songs like Bacharach did and David did for Warwick. His songs are just fluid and like mercury, just flows brilliantly for my voice, and they suit me really well. And we also have the same kinds of sensibilities in terms of poetry, songwriting, music, melody, and we have a lot of appreciation for the same artists that inspired us as well. We also love Olivia. We love Karen Carpenter. We love Donna Summer. There are certain artists that really speak to us in terms of time period, both in country, pop, and so that's how I see it with them.
Very good. First question to you both, Adrian. I'm going to start with you. Did you know Olivia Newton-John, or did you ever get a chance to see her in concert?
I wish my first real, the first disc that I got of Olivia's was physical. But I mean, I had known about her, and I had heard her on the radio as a little kid. So, so by the time she was in her 80s, hit making streak, I was very much, very into her, and like many people, had a crush on her, fell in love with her. But there was something definitely beautiful about her, and wish I did, but no, I'd never seen her in concert.
Sorry, me neither. Sudi, I see that you've got Olivia Newton-John's book behind you there, and also you've got an album. What's your history with Olivia Newton-John, and did you
Yeah.
ever meet
Well,
her?
I didn't really meet her. I did. I worked a party once at John Farrer's house, and she kind of walked by and was looking. So I kind of saw her sort of up close, but I didn't meet her. And I also worked another catering event where I was setting up tables in the ballroom, and I hear someone warming up with the band. I hear "Let's Get Physical, Physical," and I'm thinking, "Wow, that sounds a lot like Olivia Newton-John." I turn around, there she is. So that was amazing. I got to see her
Mm-hmm.
sing, like, to rehearse and then later sing the 6 songs. And I also saw her physical tour in Forest Hill Stadium. It's the first concert I ever went to in my life. The first album I ever got in my life was "Come On Over" by Olivia Newton-John. So I've been a fan since I was like 8 years old. I saw her when she was in Las Vegas. We went July 4th. Amazing show. I think I've seen her, and I saw her at Westbury Music Fair. So I've seen her 3 or 4 times in concert, and once in Nashville for Fanfare Week. And she sang with Vince Gill and stuff. So I know people who are friends with her, and I wish I had met her. But everyone that knows her, say how down to earth she was and genuine and friendly, and that does come across. So I'm glad we're doing this tribute to her. It's just kind of a, I love writing, so it's nice to be part
Sure.
of something like this.
No, just quickly, I wanted to add that that I had been a fan, but when I got with Sudi and started working with him and knew what a real avid Uber fan he was of Olivia's, I got a lot more intrigued and then completed my collection and have every single one of her albums. So I really expanded because of him.
He caught up. Okay.
Definitely. I did a binge recently, and I love. I mean, she had me at Country Roads, but it just goes
Mm.
on from there. Sudi, just really quick, since you saw some of those shows, and it was the '80s were a time and a place. I mean, I've seen it on YouTube and seen some of those concert videos. She was playing stadiums, right? Like, tell us, like, take us inside, like some of those Olivia Newton-John shows. Like, what was the energy? What was the
Yeah,
attendance?
oh,
What
so the
was it
Forest
like?
Hills one, I was like 17 in high school, and I couldn't find anyone else that wanted to go with me. I'd never gone to a concert. I just bought a ticket and I went and I got third row, and and part of that concert was part of her HBO special that they did. I think she took it from different concerts. So that was fun to see that on HBO later. The Westbury Music Fair, I don't know if people that know that in New York, Long Island, it's in the round, so it's a little more intimate. It's a beautiful place to do concerts. And what I liked was she did some more current songs that, even though they weren't hits, they were later compositions. She started writing a lot. And so she did, like "Don't Cut Me Down," which was in a movie, "It's My Party," I think. And she did "Not Gonna Give Into It," which she wrote about her cancer fight, and it was on her Gaia album, which I had to buy that as an import. Like, it had come out, but only in Australia, and I paid like $26 for the CD. I remember
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and then so yeah, each concert was different. Oh, I saw her another time in California at one of those. Oh, I forget where it was. It wasn't Las Vegas, but she did some rare songs that she doesn't always sing, like "Shakin' You" from the Two of a Kind album and "Boats Against the Current" from her Totally Hot album. Those are just not singles, but songs on the album. So that was so much fun. I love when artists do that. Oh, and "Suspended in Time" from Xanadu she did. So that's really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, the audience loves her, and especially the Las Vegas audience.
I'm so glad you brought up Xanadu. I was going to if someone else in this chat didn't. I freaking love Xanadu. I just want to go on the record. I binged Xanadu like 5 times in a row about 6 months ago, but the soundtrack is just so hot. And so for her to be coming off the success of Grease and have a hot soundtrack there, and then to go into Xanadu, I realize that the movie itself got mixed reviews, but check it out. The soundtrack is hot. The soundtrack did well. Adrian, I'm coming to you. So here we go. Her Spirit Lives On is a new song by Adrian Christian, written by Sudi Rick Karatas, with proceeds going to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation for Cancer. Can you please tell us about the song in your own words? And I listened to it. Tell us about your song, please.
Well, great. I'm glad you heard it. Her Spirit Lives On. We released it on the anniversary on August 8th, and Sudi came to me with this idea of doing this. And as far as the song is concerned, we talked about doing something, a tribute for her. The one song idea that we had, he had interspersed song titles, Olivia song titles, so that the Olivia fan, while listening, could pick out song titles that are in there. But while he did that, it told a story, and the story that it tells is about overcoming the loss. And we did it as a love letter to the fans, to who are experiencing the grief, the loss of Olivia, who feel the loss. Although the song fits really well for loss and grief of anyone who's been ill or anyone that you've lost in your life, and myself as a singer and as an actor, I had to tap into those emotions about, okay, yes, this person's gone. I can't believe this person is gone, but the spirit lives on. And we spell lives, Livs, because Liv is Olivia's nickname, Livy and Liv. So her spirit lives on. It was written about Olivia, but it encompasses the feelings one has about losing someone and overcoming the loss. So we knew that a lot of people at the 1 year anniversary were going to feel this loss for her, because so many people love her all over the world. So we wanted to do a tribute, and when we came up with the idea, that one song turned into 3 songs. So Sudi's idea turned into 3 songs that he penned, and those 3 songs are going to be on the EP. Her Spirit Lives On is the lead single to the EP, the CD entitled Her Spirit Lives On, which is coming out later in the fall. And so it's the first single, and I'm really proud of it. I think it's just beautiful. Correct.
So, folks, we're going to check out, we're going to play a little clip right now of Her Spirit Lives On by Adrian Christian, Rick Sudi Karatas. We'll be right back after the clip.
I honestly loved her, can't believe she's gone. Her spirit lives on, her spirit lives on. That beautiful song, a voice from beyond. Her spirit lives on, her spirit lives on. Her spirit lives on, her spirit lives on. That beautiful song, her spirit lives on.
And we're back. You were just listening to a clip from Her Spirit Lives On by Adrian Christian and Rick Sudi Karatas.
Thank you.
Adrian, just staying with you really quick, then I'm going to come over to Sudi. Tell us about Olivia Newton-John, the 30-year cancer struggle. I noticed the proceeds from this are going to her foundation. Tell us about that.
Well, the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund, the work that she was doing right up till the time of her passing. She did a lot of medicinal treatment, and she had a cannabis that she would grow, and her daughter and her husband John Easterling and her daughter Chloe were very active with her in supporting her with this. But she also created this amazing wellness center that she was fortunate enough to have this treatment towards her later years. And so what the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund is about plant research and finding a cure for cancer, and alternate medicinal therapies for people struggling with cancer, as she did. And she believed that a cure could be found. And so her daughter and her husband has continued on the mission with the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund. And we decided that we wanted to honor that legacy and show respect for the work that she did, and carrying on in any way that we could support it. So not only are we doing the song for the fans and the song because we love her as an artist, but we also believed in her cause and what she was fighting for. So we wanted to support that as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Adrian. Sudi, you wrote the lyrics and you wrote 3 pieces, in tribute to Olivia Newton-John, and I see that you have her book behind you. Tell me about Olivia Newton-John, the survivor who spent a 30-year struggle with cancer and ultimately succumbed from it a year ago. Was she brave, and what does her struggle with cancer signal and speak to other survivors? And does that give them
Yeah, I
strength?
think she helped a lot of people with her. A lot. She wrote actually quite a few songs. She had a CD called "Stronger Than Before," which also dealt with that
Mm-hmm.
issue in her healing. And people, I think of her as a healer when they listen to her music. She had a beautiful album, "Grace and Gratitude," which is actually one of the song titles that's in
Mm-hmm.
within the song "Her Spirit Lives On." And not everyone will get that if they
Yeah.
don't know that album. But the whole "Grace and Gratitude" album is very therapeutic. Just the music is so calming and it's uplifting and all that. I mean, she had a song called "Don't Stop Believing" years ago that again, very uplifting, positive. So much of her music is so positive and healing. And I think she was so, despite what she was going through, she always had that positive outlook. She always was treated everyone so nicely, um, and just she didn't let that interfere with, you know, and she kept working and trying and working with her center, and she did a lot of to help other people going through the same thing, and everyone you hear stories from how she would just stop and listen to you and talk to you, and so just yeah, and again to be in that status of celebrity and still be that grounded is just amazing. I think, but and it's she
May
really
I add also that yes, I just wanted to add also. I'm sorry that in '92 when she received her first diagnosis in 1992, and then overcame it, and she was clean and clear, and then it had returned years later, and so she had dealt with this several times in her life, and what I found profound about Olivia Newton-John was how she never gave in to it. She refused to be negative about it. She was, in the end, still grateful that she had a wellness center, even though one doesn't want to be grateful for having cancer. But the fact is that she decided. I believe the secret to her longevity with the illness was because of her positivity and her unwillingness to give in to the disease and to never complain. You never saw her complaining. She
yeah.
was always just doing the best she could, and she just kept moving forward, and she just remained serene and calm and grateful, and her music in her latter years reflected a lot of those feelings. She had a lot more control over the kinds of songs that she wrote more songs as well. So I thought yes, she was a light and an inspiration to a lot of people.
Do either of you remember where you were when the announcement came out? I'm sure viewers must know, especially if they're watching this on any kind of tech. I got a push alert, of course, from CNN. So I was in my office, I was at work, and it said, celebrity Olivia Newton-John has passed away. And I told my coworkers, I have a couple of coworkers in their 50s and 60s that knew her, had seen her, had grown up with her since the 70s, that were sad and shocked, but we know her as fans. We know her from a distance. Scrolling through my Facebook feed, I saw two of my friends. I'm going to have to name drop Randy Slovacek from
Yep.
the Randy Report
Mm,
and Del Shores, who of course had worked with Olivia Newton-John on the Sorted Live TV
mm,
series. So it's one thing to be, mourning her as a fan, but then to go through and see like this is all the behind the scenes working with her. It's like wow. But the answer to my question is I found out from a push alert while I was at work. Do you guys remember where you were when you heard about her
I was
passing?
on the sofa right over there,
you
and I was on my
first.
phone, and yeah, I think on Facebook I saw, and that was one of the. I rarely get that emotional when a celebrity dies. I mean, you feel bad, you feel, but I felt like a family member had passed away. And yeah, you mentioned Del Shores. She was in Sordid Lives, one of my favorite movies, and he was close with her.
And she's
Yeah,
hysterical
yeah,
in
and
that.
he was close with
Right.
her, and Randy I know, yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, where were you, Andrew?
Well, I was home when I heard the news, and the thing is that unlike some celebrities who, when you hear about something like this, it's a shock. It was for many of us. We were right along with her, rooting for her. So she was quite transparent about it. So much so that she was recording right through the to the end, and she was doing that duet with Dolly Parton and Jolene, which is on her Just the Two of Us
Right, that's right.
album, and the duets album. And so, which by the way, Brandon, we took lengths to replicate the essence of that album cover with Her Spirit Lives On. So I have the green behind me, and I'm looking out into that direction on the cover, the same way that she's looking out on that cover for just the two of us. So and that was intentional. That was deliberate. But I was home, and you know, I knew that Sudi was, you know, that it hurt, that it hurt, because you felt, you know, this was someone who was in the soundtrack of our lives, and everyone all over the world. So I started posting things about her music, and noticed right away how everyone was playing her music, and Hopelessly Devoted to You went to number one. You know, iTunes charts were really, you know, fired up. She was taking over the top 40. People were just really, so I was home watching all of that happen, and just feeling the love all over the world for her. So I was, I just, you know, if there's anybody who it would have been great to have seen her stay longer, it would have been her, because she was an angel on earth.
And there's a legacy there and the foundation. I want to give everyone a chance for Plugorama. The song Her Spirit Lives On by Adrian Christian, Rick, Sudi, Karatas. Where can folks find your song online, Adrian?
It's on iTunes. It's on Amazon. Digitally can be you can get it, and as we said, the proceeds go to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund. The CD will be out in the fall, and that's going to be available on Amazon. And you could just go to adrianchristian.com. It's right there. All the info's there.
Thank you, Adrian. Sudi, Plugorama, you've got 2 books and a movie on Amazon. What would you like to plug?
Oh,
You're doing
well,
plug them all.
Rainbow Relatives, actually, Del Shores, I interviewed in that book. He's in there, and that's on speaking to kids about LGBTQ families and friends for parents and speaking to kids. And I have the book, How Catering Sucked the Life Right Out of Me. They're all on Amazon, and some are in Barnes & Noble and stuff. And the Walk 'Em On My Pradas with Tom Arnold and Dee Wallace and Nathaniel Marston is on. It's still on Amazon, Tubi, and TV, and a couple other places. I'll have some new Christmas songs coming out later this year, so maybe we'll do something closer to then about that. But also with this EP coming out, it's going to have 2 more original songs. One is Through a Twist of Fate, which is about 2 people, strangers.
And the other one we're not going to give away.
Okay.
But the Through a Twist of Fate is the next single also.
Okay.
So it's a twist of Twist of Fate, the song Twist of Fate that Olivia did.
Yeah.
But this one's called Through a Twist of Fate, and
yeah.
it's a dance pop track.
Right. And can I say what it's about or no?
Yeah.
It's about
yeah.
2 people who are strangers at a Olivia concert, and they meet and fall in love, and they're together all these years later. But it's
A fictional love story.
and it also uses different song titles than that one from the other song
Yeah.
of hers. So it's
And it has something to do with Olivia. So it's not just about 2 lovers. It's really
Yeah.
2 lovers who met at an Olivia concert.
and they're seated next to each other. But so that's another one, and there'll be
Yes,
third
exactly.
original, and then Adrian's
Exactly. It's cute.
do-
I think it's really
and
cute.
he's going to do 3 cover songs of Olivia's, I think, for this EP2. So it'll be we won't give away
Yeah.
what those are yet, but it'll be a fun.
They're just so great. The songs are so great that I just can't give it all away.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't give it all to you, Brandon. And I mean, I just met you, Brandon.
Got it. 2 tickets.
I mean,
They gotta
how
come
am I
back.
supposed to
Gotta
give
see
you
next
everything
time.
on the first date?
Folks, today's artist of the day has been Olivia Newton-John. Our guests here to celebrate her life are Adrian Christian and Rick Sudi Karatas, the creators of Her Spirit Lives On. Thank you both for your music and your work and your efforts in honoring her life. I really appreciate your
Thank
time
you for
today.
having us
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you so much, Brandon.